interesting because this pattern does show up in other aspects of the paranormal. Over time, this thing, whatever it was, this thought form, would become leaner and leaner and kind of look more evil and negative, and would start playing pranks on people that were around her. It was like kind of like a poltergeist almost. And it got to a point where it got to be very negative. So again, in this book, she claims that over a period of time, she had to kill or dismantle, or whatever you want to call it, this tulpa. So that's pretty interesting. But that goes along with, to a degree, Keel's ideas of these transmogrifications of energy being sort of co-created by us, and something that's already in place, some kind of I don't know. He wasn't able to actually explain it. I'm hesitant about the Chicago Mothman. There's a great researcher named Alison Jornlin who really delved into that several years ago. And she found that several of the reports didn't hold water. If somebody is making up a story and they talk about the area, if they're not actually there, they don't get the details right. So there were a lot of reports that didn't really hold water. And she spoke at the Mothman Festival one year. And she was really good. She really did a lot of good research. So I'm kind of skeptical about some of the reports coming out of that region. And like I said earlier, I'm also, people probably shouldn't dub every winged entity as Mothman, because actually, if John Keel was onto something, these things may all be coming out of the same stuff, the same substance, the same phantom menagerie, but they just take on different forms. So maybe many of these things are the same thing, but they appear differently for whatever reason.
And Steve, that's really amazing, because in 2009 is when people in Sacramento were seeing Mothman on the Tower Bridge in Sacramento, California. And in fact, 2 people actually called the cops because they thought somebody was trying to commit suicide and jump from the bridge into the water, the Sacramento River. So something serious was definitely on the Tower Bridge. And some people think that the Mothman is a harbinger of doom. When this creature was seen on the Tower Bridge, nothing bad happened in Sacramento. But what's kind of interesting is 2009 is a strange year, because in Mount Shasta, these hikers, they saw Bat Squatch. And Bat Squatch is very similar to Mothman.
It makes even less sense as a physical creature. What kind of a wingspan would you need to lift something like a Bigfoot?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, you would need a huge wingspan. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Hercules.
The reason I asked before about the cultic activity is because related to the tulpa is the concept of an egregore. And an egregore is a deliberately created entity that's used to guard writings or an inner temple or an activity, and to protect the participants. So just like the tulpa, those things tend to take a life of their own at a certain point if they're neglected, or if they find themselves without people feeding them energy.
Right, I've heard the term, and I actually have a book I haven't broken into yet about that idea. Yeah, so it's the answers to this are just very elusive, but there was so many other things that were going on in Point Pleasant in the Ohio Valley, and even in Long Island, where John Keel was living. You had the UFO sightings, you had the Men in Black phenomena,